Hello my friends, this is Loli. Today we are going to be making some Christmas decor using some pill bottles, some mop heads, and some toilet paper. Yes, toilet paper. Stay tuned for that one at the end of the video. So for this creation, I'm going to be using this pill bottle right here. The first thing that I did was just go ahead and take some of this goof off. And this is just to remove the residue of the label that was taken off of this. Then I took some of the Folk Art Rich Black and I just painted the bottom with it. For the cap, I'm going to use this leftover piece that I got from a winter hat that I got at my dollar store. Here I'm just burning off the fuzzies to avoid any fraying, and I'm just gluing down that felt piece that's in the inside so everything is one piece. Now I'm adding some hot glue to the outer edge of the cover of the pill bottle. And I'm going to go all the way around until it's completely covered. And then I trimmed off the excess. And boy, did I have excesses. So here I'm just doing the edges at the bottom to make sure that it's nice and flush, and I'm able to position it perfectly back onto the cap. And then here I'm just making sure that everything looks seamless, and now I'm cutting off the flap at the other side, and I am reinforcing here in the back by adding some hot glue, trying to keep it as seamless as possible so it looks like it was always meant to be this cute little hat. I gave it a final inspection and then trimmed off anywhere needed, and now we're going to be working on the bottom section. I'm taking pieces of this mop head that I got from Dollar Tree and just placing the pieces next to each other, trying to use the bottom of the pill bottle as as the guide to the length. I just put one piece next to each other in rows and then went on top of it and added more until I was happy with the amount. And then here I'm just trimming off the edges. With these little fuzzies that I have left over from the cutting at the bottom, I am just gluing them together, trying to keep the hot glue at the center. I am creating a pom-pom for the top of my hat. So I just kept adding them over and over, cutting whenever was needed, and once I had a size that I was happy with, I'm just going to come in and trim it up and make sure that it's nice and round, and we are going to glue it to the top of the hat. Once I'm content with it, I'm just going to add some hot glue to one of the sections and press it down to the tip of my hat. Look how it's looking so far. Now it's time to add this little half bead right there to the center of the beard. Then I added this braid that came from the same hat that I cut this other piece from, and I'm adding it in the seam between the hat and covering a small section of the nose. And I'm going to make sure that my seams are in the back of my gnome. So I'm going to just use hot glue to bring it across the entire section there, and then I'm just going to cut off the excess. I want this to be pretty seamless, so I'm making sure to add a little bit of hot glue on the edge of the braid before I cut the piece off. So I just added some there, then I glued it down, then added a little bit more hot glue and glued that piece down, and it came out so nice, guys. Look at this. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this project, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends, because sharing is caring and it helps me grow. Today's video is part of the Dress Over Imagination Challenge that is hosted monthly by Kathy Jo from Kathy Jo DIYs and Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIYs. And their guest host this month is Joanna DIY Life. The links to their channels and to the playlist will be linked in the description box below and also put in the comments. Make sure that you head on over to their channels and to their playlists and show everyone some love. On this monthly challenge, we are challenged to create with some unconventional crafting supplies. So this month was toilet paper, a mop head, and some pill bottles. All right, come on, let's go see what else I made. For this one, I'm going to use a pill bottle, of course. I'm going to be using one of these ping pong balls and a couple of these cardstock from Dollar Tree. They are glittered. First thing that I did, I glued that ball onto the top of my pill bottle. Then we're going to add some cardstock. But first, I needed to remove this piece of plastic that helps you open and unlock your pill bottle. I just cut it off using some snips. I just wanted that to be nice and smooth. I repositioned my cap, and now I'm going to glue the cardstock all around the pill bottle. I'm going to start in an angle right here, and I'm going to make sure that all the edges are nicely close to each other. So I'm going to be molding that cardstock downward to create this effect as you see right here that looks like a little tunic. Once I had it exactly where I wanted it, I'm going to just do a bead of hot glue all the way down the edge of the cardstock and glue it to the side. Then I'm going to trim this down so it will be the same height as the pill bottle. But it was hard to do this way, so I used my X-Acto knife to open up a little hole, and then I just bore my scissors through that hole and cut off the excess. And then I just trimmed the edges until everything was nicely leveled. And this is what we have so far. But I'm going to take now a strip of this gold cardstock that came from the same pack, and I just did like a 1/2 inch of a strip, and I started at the front, making sure that I have a little swag left over, and then I went all the way around and crisscrossed the last piece over the other one, creating an effect that looked like a little bow. If you enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up, and while you're there, I hope you will subscribe. It is free and it means the world to me. Thank you. All right, so now we're going to take a piece of the same gold cardstock. I'm going to fold it in half and cut off the silhouette of 1/2 of a heart. Here I freehanded it, but you can always trace it as well. Then I'm cutting notches onto it. As you see right there, I'm just going in longer and shorter strokes, trying to do them in different heights and variation of how deep they are into this shape. And you might be able to tell by now I am creating an angel. So this is going to give that effect of the wings and the feathers at the end. And I just did that until I was almost all the way to the top of the heart. And once you open it up, look how cute that comes out. I'm going to just fold it the other way, add a bit of hot glue at the middle, and glue it in the back right at the middle of my angel. Then I'm going to take some of this gold wire that I got at Dollar Tree. I'm going to take a nice generous amount. I'm going to get double the amount that I'm going to need for this project, because I want to fold it in half, and there, as you see, I'm just going to keep rolling it onto itself until it's completely braided into 2 pieces for 1 wire. I'm going to end up with a very tiny loop at the end of it, and that is perfect because I'm going to go ahead and form that halo circle and feed the other piece of wire through that to keep it in place, and then I'm going to fold it on the end to create the other piece that's going to go long ways to attach to the back of my angel. Once I was happy with the length, I'm just going to fold the edge of it a little bit just so I have some more surface area, so I'm able to add hot glue and it will be better adhere to my angel. Once I had the girt that I needed, I'm going to add hot glue to that, and I'm going to position it in between the head and the wing. Once that was in place, I'm just going to add some more hot glue to that area to reinforce and make sure that it stays in place. Next, we are going to add some hair to the hair. So I'm going to use some of the mop head. I added a bit of hot glue on the top of the head, make sure that the mop head was nicely centered, and then added another one in the back. If you like, you can add a third one here to make the hair even fuller, but I was happy with just these 2 strands. And I'm going to just reinforce it by also gluing it at the sides as well to make sure the hair is not too big, and I want those wings to be nicely visible. And that is it for this one. You let me know what you think. All right, now it's toilet paper time. For this project, I'm going to be using a pill bottle. I'm going to use some of this cardboard that I got. I think it was something or the other that I got. Some clothing piece or something. And I saved the cardboard. So here I'm just creating, it's not a butt. Don't get excited. It is just, I'm trying to trace some feet onto here. Here I did it a little bit smaller than the bottom of my bottle. If you do this project, I will say make sure the feet are equal to the base of your bottles to make sure that everything is nicely symmetrical. So I cut that shape as you see there. Then I added some of my stick glue as you see there and added a piece of black felt to it. I made sure that it was nicely adhered. Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim off all the edges. Then I'm going to create small little slats along all of the edges of the felt. Then I'm going to add some hot glue to the cardboard and bend my felt onto it to make sure that my felt molds exactly to the piece that I cut out. At the middle, it was a little bit challenging, so I used a small skewer to help me keep the shape of that little opening. And then I continued to go along all the sides until it was completely covered. I suggest that you use your finger protectors for this step because it's very easy to get burnt. Then I took another piece of felt and I'm going to put it on that side that I just glued down just to cover everything and make it nice and finished. Once it was nicely covered, I went over it and just with small scissors just trimmed off the excess felt, trying to keep it as close as possible to the ends. Now it's time for the pill bottle. I took my snips and I removed all of the edges from here, not just that opening and closing little mechanism, but the entire edges. I did it by snipping it using this tool and removing any stubborn pieces using my sand and emery board and also a box cutter. By the time I was done with the process, this is what it looked like. Next, I took a piece of felt and I'm going to measure exactly how much I'm going to need to cover this bottle with, and I just cut off that section. And then I glued it to the pill bottle, adding the glue very close to where the grooves of the thread, I guess, of the screw part of the cap was, because I do plan on putting that cap back on. And I'm just adding the hot glue to both the bottom edge and the top edge. I didn't want to have hot glue all along the middle. And once I got to the edge, I just added some to the middle there and trimmed off the excess. With the excess in the bottom, I'm just creating little slots as you see right there. Then I added hot glue to the entire bottom and bent those little petals down to have this nicely conform to the bottom. And using a nice amount of hot glue, I'm just going to glue it to that black piece that we created in the beginning. Then I reposition my cap and look how cute it's looking, but I'm not done, right? I'm going to take another piece of felt and I'm going to glue it to the edge of the cap as well, covering it up, leaving a little bit like a nail itty bitty amount a little bit further than the plastic of the cap, just so I'm able to hide something later on. Once I went all the way around, I'm going to just go ahead and trim off the excess in an angle. I'm going to do it like inward towards the top because I'm trying to create this to be a cute little hat, so that extra fabric will not be cute. So I need to make it thinner as it goes up. So here I'm just cutting as I go along and positioning some hot glue in place until I end up with this nicely arrow-shaped hat. Here I was thinking of using googly eyes, but it didn't work out. But now I'm going to come in with our toilet paper, people, okay? I'm going to go ahead and break it into tiny little pieces and put it in that container. I am adding some fine iridescent white glitter, and I'm adding some water, and I'm also going to add some school glue to this as well. We are going to create a magic paste. You wait for it, okay? We're going to just go ahead and mix it up really nicely and let it sit to the side while we prep our other pieces. If you see there, I have two pieces of felt. This square piece of felt, I'm going to just cut it like in a little U shape, like a V-U kind of shape on there. And once I get to that shape, I'm going to cut off the middle section of that shape. And to do that, just folded it in half and cut off the top section. And look how cute that's, okay? All right, so that's going to be a little beard. I'm going to give it away. Then I took that paste that I created and I'm going to completely cover both that V shape that I cut out and that strip as well. And I also took a bead, put it on a skewer and covered it with the same paste and let it dry. I let all these three pieces dry overnight once I had put the paste on them. Next day, it's time to glue this on. So I'm making sure that everything is fitting nicely. And now that we know, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue the beard right onto place. So here, if you notice, this piece has a little bit of felt at the top that does not have any of the white base on it. That's so I'm able to tuck it underneath of that little piece of felt that I left behind when I did the hat. So now you know why I did that. And that strip right there, that's going to be the frail or the trim of the Santa's hat. So I'm just going to glue it all the way around until I get to the other end and cut off the excess. Now it's time for the bead. I'm going to take it off the skewer, add a nice generous amount of hot glue in the inside of the little tip of the hat, and position that bead right onto it in the section where the hole was, so that way you won't be able to see the hole. And look how it's looking so far. Now, using this black foil paint and a skewer, I'm going to paint a couple ovals on here to give Santa little eyes. The beard was looking not as happy and white and snowy as I wanted, so I added it a little bit of this full card linen white chalk paint from Rust-Oleum. I'm adding some of that glitter over the paint to just brighten this up a little bit. But don't you worry, this felt I know usually wants to attract everything to it, but the powder came right off. Now we're going to take this sun-kissed peach color from Apple Barrel and the back of a paintbrush, and I'm just painting on a little nose for our Santa. Then I'm taking this leftover piece of greenery that I have from a pick of Dollar Tree, and I'm just cutting a piece, and I'm going to hot glue it there at the corner of Santa's little hat. And I also added different color berries to accentuate his beautiful hat. And ended up adding another piece of pine as well and some more berries. Lastly, I took the back of a paintbrush and some linen white chalk paint and then did 2 dots on these eyes. And that is it for this one. Let me know what you think. And here is the final reveal. My friends, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you would like to follow me on social media, here are my social media links. And don't forget to visit my friends in the playlist. If you would like to watch some more of my videos, here's a suggestion, and you are more than welcome to binge away with this playlist as well. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. You're amazing. Bye.